Manchester City Marathon. Tara Pterodactyl just went and grabbed an amazing guest because I actually heard Jamie talking about them earlier. But we have Phil from Swim with a Mission, which is a wicked cool event up in Newfound Lake in Bristol, New Hampshire. Phil, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be with you guys.
Yeah, so Erica loves swimming. I've been trying to get her to do a triathlon forever.
Oh, no.
And I love triathlons. I enjoy swimming, but Swim with a Mission is like a 10K swim, I think, or maybe it's different variations. Tell us a little bit about Swim with a Mission.
Yeah, so every July we bring up about 40 Navy SEALs, mostly from Virginia Beach, from Florida, from California. They bring their families. And we got a ton of people together for an amazing weekend. The weekend highlight is the swim across Newfound Lake. Newfound Lake is the cleanest lake in the Northeast. And so we attract swimmers from all over the U.S. They come from Europe. They come from Australia, all over. And we do some real swimming. There's a 10K swim, so that's a real swim. There's a 5K swim. There's a relay swim where you can get together, swim the 10K together. And then recently, because we realized the Navy SEALs may be drown-proof, but they really can't swim. So we added a 1K. We have a 1K. So once all the real swimmers go out, then all the SEALs will put on their fins, and they'll do a 1K. Also with their canines. We have some amazing canines that have seen combat that, you know, a little bit like semi-retirement. They come as well. And it's just an amazing event every single year.
Oh, that is just incredible. I actually did not know that existed, and it's very intimidating hearing about a 10K swim. I mean, I'd probably be more for the 1K, but I think that's just an amazing event you hold.
Thank you. You work your way up to it, but it's part of a larger weekend. The day before, we play paintball with the Navy SEALs. That's actually way more intimidating than swimming with the Navy SEAls.
I can only imagine.
Is playing paintball with the Navy SEAls. And in that same weekend, we do a big gala. We get about 800 people together, and we pay tribute to our Gold Star families, especially the Navy SEAL families from New Hampshire. We've lost a lot of our folks here from New Hampshire in the War on Terror, unfortunately, and we want to make sure those families know we haven't forgotten. So this year, that weekend raised $2.7 million for charity.
That's
which is,
incredible.
yeah, it's amazing.
Not a big deal. $2.7 million.
Yeah, right. So I didn't realize, I mean, I knew that you guys were the charity for the race today, but I went and picked up my bib yesterday at Millennium, and I have a gentleman's name on my bib. And he is one of the ones that we've lost, and that got me a little emotional. And of course, I went down a deep rabbit hole, and I looked him up online, and I found everything about him. I ran with my bracelet today in his honor.
Awesome.
But I read somewhere, is it 96 New Hampshire
Yeah,
members that we've lost?
Exactly. So since the War on Terror started, which is really when we were attacked on 9/11 and the Twin Towers came down, New Hampshire, and our statistics look a lot like every other state in America. You know, given our size, our population is about 1.4 million. We've lost 96 of our own downrange in places like Iraq and Afghanistan. And we have a wall of honor on our website. We also have it here at the race physically. And when you go down, you see a lot of 21 years old, 20 years old, 19 years old. These are mostly men that, you know, went to high school around where we're sitting here today in Manchester, in Londonderry, and Bedford, and they became Marines in Paris Island, or they went to Fort Bragg or Camp Lejeune, and they were killed in action. And, you know, it's easy to forget, right? We're more than 20 years into the war, but when you meet their families, you just know, like, they never recover. Right. They never get over losing a son, a brother. I mean, it is just so hard for them. The other thing we also like to point out is in that same period of time on the War on Terror that we lost 96 of our own here in New Hampshire, more than 900 have come home safely but have taken their own lives because they can't find help to, you know, with their PTS, with their traumatic brain injuries, and all the other issues that unfortunately too many of our veterans are struggling with. So that's kind of the whole point of Swim with a Mission. My wife and I started in 2017 as a way to just put on amazing events like today, right? Run with a Mission, get a lot of great people together, and let's not forget, let's raise money to help our veterans. Unfortunately, there's just too many veterans that need our help, and so there's something everybody can do. For us, it was starting a charity. Today you ran and you have the bracelet and you looked it up and you tell other people about it. Every little thing makes a life's veteran better, right? That's what it's all about.
Are you a veteran yourself?
I am not a veteran.
Okay, so how did you get into this? Tell me that story.
So back in 2016, my wife and I moved to New Hampshire now 30 years ago. And we just got involved in the community. You know, when you have young kids, you're like very focused on education or, you know, dogs and cats, or there's lots of things going on in your life, right? And we helped a lot of charities, but we kept thinking about, like, we're not doing anything for veterans. And in 2016, we really started going after it, and we started going to VFW halls and American Legions. And we started meeting veterans that were not getting the help they need at the VA and other places, and we just couldn't understand it, right? And then as we started to dig in more, we realized, wow, it's like a third of our veterans are not getting the help they need. I mean, that's just unacceptable.
Exactly.
And so we weren't quite sure what to do, but I'm a swimmer. I have a big swimming group. I do a lot of triathlons. My running days are over, unfortunately, except for a few triathlons, but we figured, like, let's just do a swim event, an open water swim event, and we thought maybe we'll raise like $25,000 and we'll give it to veterans in the Lakes region in New Hampshire. And right before that, because this is the way the universe works, right before we started, we happened to be in Florida, my wife and I. We met a group of Navy SEALs, and I had never met a Navy SEAL. I didn't know anything about the Navy SEALs, but we met this group of Navy SEALs that were parachuting into a charity event. And we invited them to come to New Hampshire. And they said, yeah, we'll come. And then I came back and I told everybody in the Lakes region, oh, the Navy SEALs are coming, the Navy SEALs are coming. But I actually didn't know if they were actually really going to come, because, like, if you asked me, hey, will you come to this thing next Saturday night? I'd be like, yeah, but that doesn't mean like I'm actually coming, right? But it turns out if a Navy SEAL says, yes, they're coming, turns out that's actually what they mean.
Yes.
And so they showed up. And because they showed up, like 1,500 people showed up to our first swim.
Wow.
And we raised $450,000. Instead of $25,000, we raised $450,000 the first year in 2017.
That's the first year of the
Yeah,
charity. That's
isn't that
amazing.
crazy?
Yeah.
So then we realized, like, okay, this is important. We've really got to dig in. And what we do every year is, like, we just gave away close to $3 million and to 31 different organizations. What we do is we collect a lot of data from many, many organizations, and they tell us how many veterans are helping, how much it costs, and it paints a picture. Like right now, there are hundreds of veterans waiting for service dogs, for example. And a service dog saves a life, right? So this year, a lot of money went to make sure we clear those waiting lists, because unfortunately, if these guys wait too long, they're going to take their own lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? So we need to rush to get those. So some years, maybe it's homelessness, right? Or it's we need more recreational retreats or art therapy.
Just whatever the greatest need is at that time, right?
Exactly. And that's what we do every year. We go and see where the needs are in the community, and we just try to address them as quickly. And then it's like every time you help somebody, you get a little more fired up. Like, we got to do more of this.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Now, what's your involvement here? You're here, you're at other events outside of just the swim. Are you a partner with Millennium Running? Are you a sponsor? Or do you have people here running it that you're supporting? What's the deal here?
So we're very lucky with Run With a Mission in that we are the beneficiary today. Swim With a Mission and the veterans are the beneficiary. The part we love the best is we don't have to organize this one. We organize a lot of events. We just show up with a bunch of Navy SEALs, and we help inspire everybody with the bracelets and put the names on the bids and talk about it. But really, it's Millennium. You know, the Millennium crew is amazing. They do a great job. We first met them when we started our swim. After a few years of doing the swim, we were looking for a group to kind of take over running the logistics of the swim. And Millennium really hadn't done much in swimming. They're known for their running races.
Yeah.
And of course, they did an amazing job. So we started partnering with them about 7 years ago. And then a couple of years ago, they came to us and said, hey, we'd love to take this, Manchester Marathon. It's around Veterans Day. Make it more patriotic. Let's really make it about our veterans, and we'd love for you to be the beneficiary. And, like, how awesome is that?
So awesome.
Yes, coming up on Tuesday is Veterans Day, so shout out to everyone who has ever served our country.
Thank you
and the
for all
families
of
who
your
have made
service.
the ultimate sacrifice. We appreciate you.
Where can others find you? What events will you be at? Do you do the social media content stuff? I know I see it every year around the swim in July. Are there different versions? I know you got the 1K and the 10K.
Right.
I've done Ironmans, but that is not even half the
You can
10K.
push to the 5K. There's also the 5K.
There is a 5K, so
Which
there's
would
no
be more than the
excuses.
Ironman.
Still, but hey, if you could do a 2-mile swim, you could do a 3.1.
But for those who don't know, who are
Sure.
listening, who are interested, like,
Yes.
where do they find you?
First of all, go to our website, swam.org, swam.org. There's a ton of information about our swim events, paintball. We have Ride with a Mission. You know, sometimes we have Fish with a Mission. We're actually just starting an amazing program called Commission with a Mission, which is not an athletic event. If you have a company that has a big sales force, each salesperson can take like $1 of each commission check and donate it to veterans so they can tell their customers they're supporting veterans.
That's amazing.
Right, so it's not, now we're getting outside of some of the sporting events, but everything's at swam.org. And please follow us on social media. There's a ton of videos, a lot of fun stuff with the Navy SEALs. We also have an event called Green Beret with a Mission. So you get to do a 3-hour, like a tough mudder with obstacle course as a team with the Green Berets. So it's not just all about the Navy SEALs.
Wow.
It's awesome. Well, thanks so much for what you do, especially that I love that it's New Hampshire-based
Yeah.
local, and Newfound Lake is beautiful. You said it's the cleanest lake in the Northeast. I actually thought it was the cleanest lake in the country.
It's close. It's in the top 10.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
And one of the deepest.
that's exactly right. It's 190 feet deep, so
Yeah.
it keeps it clean.
I
Yeah.
learned something today.
Yeah, me too.
But I have to say also, just thank you for filling the need that the community had with this organization. I think that's such an amazing cause, and if anybody wants to donate or participate, make sure to go to
Let's
the
all
website.
go do a swim, and then
Yeah.
maybe that will be the start to
I
Erica's
will blow out my
triathlon journey.
floaties.
So-
I will put on the floaties.
I did learn yesterday when I was picking up my bib at Millennium. I spoke to a nice woman from your organization, and she said that they're hoping for 2027 to get bibs for Boston.
Yes.
So potentially, if you wanted to run Boston, you can hop on with these guys and
What an
raise some money.
amazing
Thank you for raising that, because that is something new that we've started. We already got 5 bids for London already. We're going to have them for Chicago, New York. I don't think we're going to get Boston, but we'll also get Berlin, which
Okay.
I know is a very popular
Yeah,
one.
very
So
cool.
And you guys have Philadelphia too, right?
we have Philadelphia as well. So
Wow.
contact us at swam.org if you want to get a charity bid to do one of these races.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
Yeah,
Love
so
that.
cool.
That's so cool because that was started here in New Hampshire,
Yes.
and you are going worldwide.
Going to London, baby.
We're going worldwide. That is so awesome. Phil, thank you so much for coming on, sharing us with everything about Swim with a Mission. And
Thank
now
you.
we know it's Run with a Mission, and we know it could be one day maybe tennis or hockey. Like,
Commission
You
with a
got
mission.
it.
yeah, you could do it all. So this was a lot of fun, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that. Phil from Run and Swim with a Mission on the On the Run podcast.